Hey y'all, Saturday morning here. Welcome to the stream. Late Saturday for me. It's about almost 11 a.m., so I'm right on schedule. Um, so as last time, I'll start off with just organization because I'm too lazy to do that off stream, to be honest. And it, you know, it gives me time to kind of stretch things out. But anyway, yeah, it's been a chill weekend so far. I saw that movie. Smile yesterday, the horror film, which was pretty cool. Um, yeah, but so to jump into things first, like again, it's been a few days, but I'm really pleased how this steel came out. Super, super pleased. Steel in enamel airbrushed on to the chassis and some other components here as well. Main goal for today will actually be trying to resolve my Iwata airbrush situation. Really, I'm done with cutting out sprue parts. I've cut out a bunch for the next few steps. Um, and yeah, so yeah, just again, I'm building the GT-350 Shelby. I think I've been writing it the other way around, or is it the Shelby GT-350? I'm not sure, to be honest. Doesn't really matter. And yeah, I've been using this app. Let me just jump into voice and the Discord link that I've now shared in my channel. So yeah, I want to make sure the master airbrush that I have here works for sure. It's not ideal because I have some O-ring problems, as I do on the Wada. There's something fishy about the Wada. And so what I'm gonna be doing is I want to troubleshoot it a little more on stream. It's pretty clean, but I think the nozzle cap might be a bit fucked up. So I'm gonna be replacing it with a new cap, and I'm actually gonna be putting a point 0.2 needle because I have a point 0.5 needle in the master airbrush. Yeah. Um, so without further ado, I'll kind of start moving things along. Assuming things work, I will be priming a lot more. Oh, and I mentioned this app in the Discord that I've like Paint Rack. It kind of helps just keep inventory of all your paints and whatnot. It's really useful, at least for my purposes. Yeah. I like the manifolds and small parts also painted in steel, which I like. One part will be painted in silver, the belt, and then I'll hand brush black on it. Yeah, and also trying to see how these new primers work because I'm done with spray can primers. As soon as my Tamiya spray can ran out, I ordered these. I actually ordered these before. My hobby knife blade set. Um, yeah, and also, I became affiliate recently, just under a week ago, less than a week ago, and so that's cool. I can now get subs, and as you can see in my goal on the left, I am aiming for 10 subs without an end date. I'm also aiming for 70 followers now that I have 57 by June 1st, which I think is realistic. So tune in, give me a sub, give me a follow. If you can, that'd be much appreciated. And yeah, let's get moving along. Um, just clearing some space here. And first things first, I want to clean up my airbrush caps actually, because last time I was using the WADA, things bubbled out. Actually, let me replace the needle first in the WADA. That's what I'm going to be debugging. So, or troubleshooting, I should say, not debugging. I'm so used to coding for work that I use that word a lot. I'm just getting some of my recently bought supplies. I think it's, yeah, in this drawer. Um, point, 0.35. This should be a point 2. Oh, 0.5. Okay, I don't have a point 2. I have a 0.35. Yeah, this isn't the ultra fine airbrush. Still do the 0.35. That still gives me a smaller spray area than the point 0.5, which I kind of want. I don't know why I'm out of breath. Yeah, so let's see. Just gonna gently remove. And I do think I'm actually missing an O-ring here. I hope that I do plan on getting more O-rings. I hope it won't be super problematic. And I don't think I need another needle, so I won't open up this yet. As far as, oh wait, this is the master, isn't it? Yeah, this is the master. Whoops, wrong thing. Yeah, this must be a 0.35. This part is fast. The outside, I don't really care that it's a bit messy. Um, Although it's kind of in there tight. I hope I didn't. I cleaned well last time, so I hope nothing is really jammed. There's a little residue left, but I don't think that's the root of the problem. There's residue on the cap. So something must have been coming out. I'm not gonna, you can see it here. Yeah, it got clogged up, and there's still fresh paint, which is weird. So let me do some cleaning, and it will be on cam. It's kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Not ironic. Frustrating. It's been frustrating that, and it's mostly my fault that my airbrushes got messed up from not doing a good clean several months ago. But let me just get some cleaning supplies. Just use some, at this point, lacquer thinner, and I won't use too much. Yeah, so something was funky. But it's coming off. It's not like dry paint, it's diluted paint. I'll get the cleaning needle too. Yeah, that's coming off nicely. I mean, that could have been the problem itself. I could have neglected to clean that cap, but I'm gonna replace, I mean, the needle cap or casing. Um, Let me just see. Yeah, I mean, it's scraping away pretty easy. I'm not gonna be perfectionist because I'm using the same paint. Yeah, this comes off super easy, no biggie. And yeah, as I've mentioned before, some little details I do off cam just because of the way my workbench is set up. I'm trying to not use especially too much of this because it does fume up, but it's just a few drops. But I'm already gonna wipe away the excess. It's better soaked into paper towel than like a puddle of it. And that should be cleared enough. Yeah. The needle I'm not replacing, so let me clear some of that as well, just gently from the tip as such. Yeah, that's a 0.35. I can I've developed a visual eye at this point for needles. Yeah, and it looks the same size as the one in the package. So that's cool. Okay, just gonna gently set this aside. And now what I am replacing is this. So the only thing is how to replace adequately. Does it just pop out? I'm not sure. If someone comes on and gives me a hint, that would be much appreciated. I'm gonna take out this guy. Um, just set it aside. The casing, I'm not sure. Also, while I'm at it, might as well scrape away some. But this isn't really an interference. When I do the deep clean, well, let me just put some on the threads here. Maybe this will loosen things up. I wonder if there's like a special tool that I need. Yeah, that's helping. Would it just pop out? I mean, this cap is kind of clogged, but I don't care for it anymore. I'm gonna replace the whole thing. But speaking of which, I mean, it's getting cleared up. Yeah, I think that's one part I didn't really clean. I'm just thinking pliers maybe. I have pliers, but I don't really want to get this component out because I think that's the bulk of the problem, and I'd rather get it out than clean at this point. I could remove the needle cap or the needle, like the very end of the nozzle cap. Let me just get my wrench, um, and I'll unscrew it. I used to like look at YouTube tutorials for this kind of stuff for everything, but now not so much. Okay, here goes nothing. I always say that, but actually screwing it on, I've messed up a few nozzles, the threading, and the O-rings by not being careful. Okay, that's off. Yeah, I hope the paint isn't like too caked in for me to do this. What can I use? A skewer maybe? Just gotta be really careful. No, that's like not enough force. Oh, maybe this other end. No. There we go. Popped it out. And yeah, that's kind of dirty. But since it's the outer casing, cool. I'm glad I got that out. Um, it was a wrench, kind of a wrench thing. Cool, cool. Moving along. Um, I'm not gonna throw this guy away. Who knows if I need it for something, but I'm gonna clean up in here a little more. The lacquer is really good for stripping away. And it is a Tamiya airbrush cleaner. And yeah, that's working like magic. Get another Q-tip, and that'll be good. And then I'll test this. I'll test this off cam first with just some water and like moderate pressure. There are some fumes, but it's kind of minuscule. And I'll need to order. I mean, I've transferred all of my, as I've shown before, I've transferred all of my cleaners to these, I mean, my thinners, but also cleaners, to various color-coded dispensers, which makes things convenient. In fact, I have another, just like light airbrush cleaner off cam, which is good for just some minor touch-ups. People use IPA, but you know, different thinners and paints have different properties. So I don't think IPA or Windex is like a fix-all. Let me clean off this too. Well, let me put the needle in first. Or the new cap. Okay, new cap. Just gently slide it in. Oops. And I know my O-ring is faulty. O-ring, not rig. Okay, and I'll just, oh, this kind of works. Um, just want some pressure on there to kind of guide it in. That would be a nice kind of thing to find out how to kind of guide in this cap. I guess if I were to screw on, let me screw on once. Let me kind of put more pressure in. And then if I screw on, my guess is it would latch on. It's already kind of in, but if I screw on, hopefully the pressure would kind of send it forward. So let me now remove and see. It must be simple to put in. Now, it didn't go into, maybe I'll post on Discord. Use the end of my like stylus pen or something. That's too wide. Use the end of an X-Acto, but I don't want to stab myself. Oh, I'll use this. If I could like hammer it in. I also don't want to be like too forceful. It's like still wobbly. But honestly, maybe that's okay. Maybe it's supposed to be wobbly and it's just the paint. That's what I'm thinking. It once it's screwed on, it's fine. In fact, the wobble, if it's wobbly, it's good because it's easier to kind of clear out. I mean, remove. There we go. It fell out, but that's okay. I'm not aiming. I think that's fine. I think as long as I get it latched on, everything will be secure. There we go. Cool. Cool, cool. This little O-ring, which is kind of loose, but I think still works. the needle isn't coming through the cap. So maybe I do need to. Maybe this is a .5 needle. I'll swap into .3 as well. But first I just want to get the cap back on. But if anyone's on, how are people doing this fine Saturday morning? It's pretty gray and gloomy today. I went to a cafe for a coffee and yeah, that was nice. Another thing I'm wondering is why the. Let me actually test this out. Let me test this other needle. Needle is ever slightly dirty, but yeah, that's okay. So maybe it is a .5. Yeah, I think so. I think I just made a mistake in terms of sizing. .35. Um, I had some lubricant for needles. Where did I put it? Here it is. I want to put some on. So this should definitely fit. I know that in terms of the specs. Okay. Hmm. Okay. We'll see. Slide it back on. Hmm. This one's getting jammed. This is annoying. No, that's not working right. Did I get the barrels mixed up also? Let me compare. This is so much troubleshooting. It's a little bit unfortunate. Huh. Let's see. Let's see. Fortunately, my barrel is now clean, the gun itself, so I don't really need to mess around there. I do know that master airbrush works for sure, so that's always an option. I would think the barrel part is kind of identical. So let me just see how this glides in, because this part is more or less the same. Would it glide into the master? Yeah, it would, up to a certain point. So, okay. It's the spring part, not the barrel and the nut. Let me keep things consolidated though. Keep the master in my airbrush. I mean, in my paint hood. And I'll have to worry about the trigger not popping out. Which is fine if it does. It's just kind of annoying to get back on. Okay. Keep that there. there. Keep this there. And now this is really tight. I can't get it to nudge. Oh, that's really annoying. I think I need pliers. I do have pliers. I'm gonna come right back and get those pliers. Okay, got the pliers. Let's see how this goes. It should do the trick. So I don't want to damage anything. Okay, it's moving along. I must have over tightened. Yeah, and the threads would benefit from some lubricant. It's all part of the process. Assuming I get the water resolved, and I'm getting close. Oh, there's paint on here too. Might be part of the problem. It's dry paint though. Okay, let me first replace the springs, the spring and that kind of spring mechanism with the master. I know I'm doing this off cam. Yeah, okay, cool. And yeah, let me clean the threads a little bit. The master's fine. Goes in quite smoothly. Um, yeah, okay. I'm not gonna be perfect about this, but I'm just trying to get There's not that much paint on, but with threads, that could really interfere. I mean, like the threads or what? The screw on threads. People should know what I'm talking about if you're an airbrusher. Put some in the gun. So, that's actually pretty clean. More here. Cool. That's clean enough. It's pretty shiny. And some lubricant. I'm not going to clean the cap. It latches on nicely enough. For now, at least. Next session I'll do that. I'm talking about the airbrush cap. Has minimal significance. Okay. Um, Putting this guy back in. Yep. Now screwing this back on. Yeah, that should go in smoothly, more or less. It's a little stiff still. There we go. That's a smooth fit. That lubricant helped. Okay, cool. I'm not over screwing this time. No pun intended. Let's try the needle now. Yep, cool. It's a little tight, but that's okay. I know the needle corresponds. It's just ever so slightly peeking out. It's not even peeking out, but it's there. It made it to the tip. And if the products correspond, I'm confident. So in theory, everything's set up right now. Things should work fine, except that my O-rings aren't perfect, but they're still on. Not over tightening. Let me get this needle, I don't know. I mean, this tiny cap. I'll set it aside for now, but I don't think I'm gonna get much use out of it anymore. Everything, not everything, but things are new here. Cool, cool, cool. I think it's time for a small water test. Trigger is kind of depressing, a little funky, but with air coming through, it should be fine. Let me plug things in. I'm gonna do this semi on cam, semi off cam. Uh, no need for the vent hood. Boot up the compressor. I'll do it on cam. Set the airbrush aside. The master airbrush, that is. I got a tiny bit of fuminess, but that's okay. I don't really need the mask at this point. Hope people do join, but when I say that, people usually do join. I'll put some of these airbrush components aside. I'm gonna check my PSI. Yeah, it's just around 20. Cool. First air. Let's see how that's working. Yep, that's fine. Cool. Let's do some water. No, literally just like do it on my hand. Kind of a lot of water. I can't. I'm kind of ambidextrous. Like I can't use an X-Acto in my left hand, but airbrushing I can do. So yeah, let's see. I'm getting water. It's bubbling a lot, but which kind of concerns me. But I'm getting water in my hand, so I think that's good. Next step, I'm gonna just I'm gonna prime, and I'm gonna do everything with the 0.35 for the most part today. Hope if assuming this master works. I mean this Iwata airbrush works. Um, let's see. I'll quick disconnect for now, and I'll just dump the water in my bag. There's not much in it, so it's not gonna interfere. I'm just gonna also take a 2 minute break, not even to kind of leave cam, but just to kind of clean things up. Um, so this I want aside for now. I won't be doing much with these. I guess it's not really much of a break, but just reconsolidating. This is what I had before, which I guess was the point, something that corresponds to the master. So I'm just gonna set that aside, and later on I'll figure things out. It's funny, I haven't actually damaged any needles, but by getting things confused, I've kind of forgotten what goes where. Yeah, I do need, assuming I paint some steel or some silver. But first things first, tiny bit of this white primer. I'll dilute again. Um, Let me reset my cam. I'm gonna, as I usually do when I do things in the booth, I reset. Um, yeah, cool. That's good enough for now. I'll set up my ventilation. I know the cam's inverted. I'll fix that in a sec. Clear some clutter. I think I'm in the clear for the most part. I kind of don't like how things bubble so much, but that was water. Um, that was the water itself. I'll test on a sprue. So I have a few sprues I can test on. I'm not going to use this microcontrol knob because it confuses me. And let me just rotate my cam. Let's see, 40 minutes in. That's fine. Uh, I had a little more troubleshooting to do on the Iwata. And I can switch airbrushes for different tasks. That will be quite easy at this point. So let's see before I start, well, let me dilute some of this primer. Um, yeah, set this aside as well. Get a glove on. I try to reuse my gloves to be economical, assuming they don't tear. This guy is fairly easy to dilute. He still uses skewer. It's so diluted already, but people told me I should still dilute. I'll honestly dilute like 70-30, and I don't need much anyway for now. Really, I'm using black. That is kind of gonna be my main primer for now. It's what I kind of wanted to prime with initially. I think I'm fine. I don't want much, as I mentioned. There is a like fragrance or a scent to it for sure. I really have like maybe 20-ish drops, I'd say, of primer, so I'll do like 10 drops. People have said this airbrush is kind of diluted in a diluted manner. I don't know what I'd get instead though, for a surface primer. I've heard Mr. Hobby is good. So 20, 30. I'll do like 7 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's like 8 already. I'll do 10. Something like that. It's like 12. I mean, first things first, you're just making sure it comes out. If it doesn't, well, I'll switch to the master. Let me transfer this quickly because this cup is almost dead. I can feel the plastic melting. I'm just gonna toss it. Today's not a gray primer day. It's actually gonna be painting the engine, assuming I get things right. Sorry, just had to crack my back. Okay, I'm at 20 psi. That should be good. Let me cap this because I don't want things bubbling out of control. And very light pressure control. Nope. That's a bummer. That's a bummer indeed. Yeah. And I wonder if it's bubbling. Yeah, it's bubbling hard. Oh, that's a shame. I don't know. I'm tempted to call it a quits and just like maybe stream No Man's Sky. I could. I'd take like half an hour break. What time is it? It's probably like almost noonish. Let me see. I'm not gonna give up just yet. I'm gonna master airbrush it with whatever needle. I have like a point .5 in there. I don't want to paint the engine with that. I mean, I could. Okay, let me just go with the flow. I won't give up. Um, I'll clear up the master airbrush. That's kind of gross. I don't know. Just it's disappointing. It is my fault, pretty much, for letting this happen. I also kind of don't feel like cleaning two airbrushes. I'll give this 5 minutes. I'll see how things go. Let me just do a shallow clean. And because I can't siphon air out, things are a little annoying. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's meant to be a No Man's Sky day. I'm like almost 50 minutes in. And I mean, I troubleshooted some more. I know I have a good needle and good cap in. Might switch to No Man's Sky. I don't know. Since I'm leaning so much to do that anyway, I might just do that and maybe airbrush a little on my off time. I wonder if it's just primer. Like no paint is coming through, and I've pretty much cleaned everything. Everything pretty much at this point. Okay. Let me turn off the compressor. It's also all this cleaning is gonna make things fill up with fume. Fumes, I mean. Yeah. I'll clean the needle itself. Probably, yeah, I'm gonna call it a quits. Actually, unless someone joins in the next like 3 minutes and begs me to stay. Well, I'll stream No Man's Sky most likely. Just have to readjust my setup. I'd always stream No Man's Sky tomorrow, but today's kind of a light day. Don't have much going on. It's a maybe if I'll stream the No Man's Sky. There's a good chance. Yeah. Um, Let me just see. So that requires its own setup. I might do that tomorrow. But yeah, let me just finish up the last few minutes with cleaning this out. Okay. Yeah, that was rather disappointing. And I am calling it a quits just because I don't want to deal with after an airbrush fluke. I don't want to deal with, even though all I'll take is just putting this one on and continuing. The primer's kind of just the best. Um, and I only have the point 0.5 needle set up for it. I did clean the airbrush after using it. This one did a lot, so at least that's an important thing I won't neglect again. Um, yeah, guys, I'm gonna call this one a quits. The No Man's Sky is a maybe. Um, I'll see. I'll see about it. All right. It was nice being on. See you guys soon. Either maybe a bit later today or maybe tomorrow as a bonus stream. Bye.